Nga Agahon, coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan in the Philippines. I'm having my morning cup of coffee here, my Copico Blanca. Copico Blanca is a 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. Coffee, cream, and sugar. It's got it's about 7 or 8 pesos here. I can get 10 packets, 10 packets of this. It comes in 10, a 10 pack, and it costs me like 70 pesos. So about 7 pesos each. You pay more, of course, if you go to like the sari-sari stores. The sari-sari stores here will have a lot of variety of 3-in-1 coffee. And then usually they will have like a thermos of like hot water, and you can actually get a cup from them, pour your 3-in-1 coffee, and then put the hot water, and you can drink coffee right there at the sari sari store. That's a common area where a lot of tricycle drivers, jeepney drivers, they'll hang out by the sari sari store, get their first cup of coffee, sometimes with pandesal. If there's a pandesal that passes by, they'll get pandesal. Like me this morning, I got this it's called butter toast by Gardenia. I'm just trying it because I bought a Gardenia bread yesterday, and this was strapped to it. It says free. So I said, hey man, it's free, so I'll try it. It's almost like a bizcocho. Bizcocho is the same thing, like a bread, like they dry the bread. It's like, I don't know, they toast it and dry it. I don't know what the process, but it's crunchy. It's not, when you bite into it, it's crunchy. And this one's got a lot of butter. It's a butter toast. So it's basically their bread, their gardenia bread with butter on it that they toasted. And I guess it holds for a long time because it's sealed and everything. But delicious, actually. I guess new product. That's why they're having me try a free one with my bread. I saw it. I normally buy my gardenia bread. One of the breads I buy. There's several breads I kind of rotate, but it made me pick the gardenia bread this time because it had the free. You know how the free always attracts your attention. So I decided to get the gardenia bread this time. Hey, Michael, my good friend in 13 Martires, Cavite. He just finished this Copico Blanca. Michael, I met him in Boracay, and I gave him a cup. He's got one of these Dazzle TV cups. He's got one of these, so he's drinking his Copico Blanca in a Dazzle TV cup. He says it's raining like crazy. It rained all day yesterday here, and there were portions where it would just like downpour. It's like 30 minutes straight of like a heavy rain. Dazzle, Mom, and Leanna, I actually dropped them up at the mall. That's what that video that came out last night. They spent the day at the mall. Dazzle spent the day at the salon, and then Mom and Leanna, I think they ate at Greenwich, Greenwich, where they had lasagna, chicken, and French fries. Leanna always gets fried chicken, but I guess and French fries, that's her thing. She likes those two things. But I don't know. She added lasagna this time, at Greenwich. And then Dazzle, she spent a few hours at the salon. So they had fun at the mall. I just dropped them off at the mall, and then they texted me to pick them up later in the day because in the morning it stopped raining. It stopped raining here, so I thought, oh man, I guess the weather let up. But during the day, towards the afternoon, it started getting dark and then downpour. And the rain here in our area, it's caused by the habagat, the monsoon season. That's why it's raining in our area. But there is a tropical storm that's still in the Philippine area of responsibility right now. And from the wind, sometimes we get some of that wind, that the habagat winds. I guess when habagat the monsoon season, and then if there's a tropical storm that comes, it adds a little power to like the habagat, like the winds usually is what gets stronger here. And for tropical storm Krising, it says here, possible floods or landslides due to intense rain, torrential rain even, it says here, and gale force winds. So, and I can feel that a little bit this morning here. Mom even, mom is outside. Mom's always like sweeping, cleaning outside, but she said that, and I can see her plants here, you know, it's like moving, you know, from the breeze. So Batanes, Cagayan, and Ilocos Norte. Again, northern Luzon is where the storm is, the tropical storm Krising. And then same thing in La Union. People are familiar with La Union, Pangasinan, that region. That's all part of Luzon, more like towards central Luzon. And then Metro Manila, actually, they're getting rain, says here, but it's the monsoon rain. So with where my friend Michael is, he's listed here, Cavite, Bataan, Batangas. So it says here monsoon rain. So they might not be being affected by the tropical storm, but because of the habagat, because of monsoon rains, he's getting a lot. That's why he said here, raining like crazy in 13. Raining like crazy in 13. But here in Central Visayas, we're Western Visayas and Central Visayas, we're not getting as much rain that they're getting. So hopefully today it starts drying up, because I can actually see more light now, because yesterday was just cloudy and gloomy. There were still areas in Panay Island. I saw videos where flood in some areas. Sebaste, Antique, I saw a road there that had knee-high water to like waist-high water. Only buses could go through, but like cars weren't getting through. Area on the highway at Sebaste, Antique. Antique is part of Panay Island. There's 4 provinces that make up Panay Island. It's our province of Aklan, Antique, our next door neighbor, Capiz, another next door neighbor province, and then Iloilo are the 4 provinces in our region. But looks like I'm thinking, because the clearing up here today, you can see I raise up the blinds here, and I'm getting, we might start clearing up today. Probably less rain for us today. Good morning, Kuya. Kamusta ka? Mabuti ako, Olsen. Olsen's my good friend in Columbia, South Carolina. And his wife Aliyah and son Isaiah. They watch our channel. They watch the live streams. Thank you. They just came back for a long vacation up New York, upstate New York. They went to the Niagara Falls. You know, I saw videos of them at Niagara Falls. And Olsen's is like he's a real handyman. Olsen's one of those guys that works with his hands. He can fix anything. He bought like an old motorhome in the U.S. I think it looks like it was like maybe 70s or 80s type motorhome, and he refurbished it by himself. He did all the work to it. So he likes working with his hands. He also has a cool looking VW bus. You know, it's like I've always liked the VW bus, and I'm sure he did the restoration also on a VW bus. Awesome looking VW bus. Hey Ginno, hey, good morning, Mom Janet. Glad to see you, Mom Janet. Thank you so much for joining the live stream this morning. 12 watches to like. Thank you, Mom Janet. And thank you for the likes, everyone. Thank you. Appreciate the likes this morning. OBA. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Honey Airy. Uh, Fortune, hey Fortune, good morning, my brother. Fortune and I, we were like message texting last night before I went to bed. You know, it's like I always try to get to bed around 8 p.m. You know, that's my bedtime because I'm an early riser. I'm usually up by 4:30. So by what 8, you know, I'm usually slowing down by 8. That what I usually do. I eat an early dinner. You know, I eat my dinner around 5:30, and then by 7:30 I'll lay in bed and then I'll just start you know, answering messages, trying to like finish up, and then by 8 I'm usually like zonked out. You know, it's like I've had a long day by 8 p.m. But we were just chatting. I mean, you know, we had actually Fortune and I had so much in common. That's why we're I can tell we're becoming good friends, and I can't wait to meet Fortune. Next time he goes to Boracay with his family, you know, I told him I'm gonna give him a cup, man. Fortune's gonna, you know, next time when I see him, I haven't met him in person yet, but I can already tell Fortune's a great guy. I'm going out to grocery by 7 8. All right, no worries, no worries, and you know, do your thing, do your chores, man. I know how that is because like me, after this live stream, I think Mom and Dazzle wanted to go to the public market because we're low on eggs, and then I'm sure we always get vegetables, you know, because when we buy vegetables at the public market, we don't buy a lot, you know, we buy maybe enough for 1 or 2 meals. Because here, you know, it's so close to us. We can even walk, you know, to the public market here. It's less than a kilometer away. But we usually take a Bumblebee or the car, depending on how much stuff they plan on buying. And that's why we like to buy the vegetables, everything fresh, you know, because and that's the tendency of most people here unless you live in the city. Of course, if you live in the city, I would understand. But here in the province, it's so common for us, like, and this is weird, you know, it's a different dynamic. When I was in the US, when I went grocery shopping at Safeway, HEB, you know, when I used to shop, I would always like buy so much grocery, you know, hoping it lasts more than a week, sometimes 2 weeks. That way I don't have to go back so much to the grocery. Here, we go to the public market at least 3 times a week, if not more. When I pick up Leanna, Dazzle will usually tell me, "Babe, get a couple of potatoes, get carrots, get, you know," because it's so easy for us to like just buy it. You know, there's our public market, Numancia Public Market, and even on the way to school, to Leanna's school, there's like several stalls, like roadside stalls, even right outside Camellia now. It's weird how that area is like becoming popular because 7-Eleven open. Now there's a Lugao. Lugao is like rice soup thing right beside 7-Eleven. And right beside that, there's a chicken place now. And it's not cooked chicken, it's like dressed chicken. You can buy chicken by the kilo. And then I noticed they added like garlic, red onions, tomatoes. So, you know, we can just walk there, or we can send Leanna. Leanna's our runner. And Leanna, we'll tell Leanna, because she goes to 7-Eleven anyway. So when she goes to the 7-Eleven, she'll stop there and she'll pick up, you know, things soon. And they have eggs there too. So it's just convenient. You know, it's not hard for us to get like fresh produce, fresh fruits, eggs, you know, things like that. Very easy for us to get. That's why we don't try to load up on it. You know, our fridge is normal now. For the longest time, we had like one of those mids. I would call it. It's not a dorm refrigerator, but it's not a full size refrigerator. It's like halfway, kind of like mid size. I think it was 6 cubic feet. Our freezer used to be like a small area that had a plastic door, because before it was just Dazzle and I here. But when Leanna came, when 2 years ago now, we bought a full size refrigerator. So we have a separate freezer now, and then a good size refrigerator. So we can fit more stuff in there. Michael C. Hello from Mom Janet. All right. Warning. What's that warning thing? Warning. Oh, I'm like looking. Warning thing. Hold on. Do I have a warning? In weather like this, can you travel to and from Boracay? All right, Edgar. Great question, Edgar. I'm glad you asked that. As far as Boracay, during Habagat, there's a Philippine Coast Guard. I think they even have a station somewhere in Malay or somewhere. They're always at the port, of course. It's a jetty port. The jetty port is where people ride the boats going to Boracay. It's only a 15-minute ferry ride. But the Coast Guard is always watching the sea there, the ocean, the water, because we've had incidents there. There've been incidents with the boats there before. So during any kind of when a typhoon, storm, tropical depression enters the Philippine Air Responsibility, if it has a trajectory of Eastern Visayas, even though it hasn't started raining here in Western Visayas, if the national government, they have these things called signal number one, signal number two. Signal number one is being like the lowest signal, kind of like I would compare it to like a tornado warning or a storm warning. It's just a warning. But the minute you're included in that area, the minute our province or Boracay, Aklan province, the minute we're included in signal number one, there's a warning, Coast Guard will shut down the ferries. So that's why I always said, that's one thing, if you're living in Boracay or traveling to Boracay, that's something to think about, because and if there's a storm that passes near enough to our area where it advances to signal number two, I have seen the ferries in Boracay shut down for 2 to 3 days. That they won't have any ferries, so you can't travel in and out of Boracay Island. So if it's your vacation, things like that, unfortunately that kind of ruins the vacation for a lot of people. What's funny is, like, I have seen when people make it to Boracay, even when it starts storming, they still have fun. It's like it doesn't, they might put a no swimming on the ocean, by the beach, but people are still out and about. Boracay is one of those places where, they'll wear rain ponchos, they'll carry umbrellas as people are still eating at restaurants, going to clubs, drinking at the bars, because I guess they try to make the most out of their vacation even though it starts raining. But there's been people that come there, because I've talked to like the e-trike drivers, where they've had guests there that go to Boracay and they'll spend 3-4 days, and the whole time it rains. That's just the chance you take when you go to Boracay Island and you go there from July to December. Anytime during July to December, it can just rain here in our area, Panay Island. It can rain for days. So there's really, it's weird, because like right now I can see the sun's trying to come out. So it might, the last 2 days we've got nothing but dark clouds and rain, but today looks like we're gonna get sunshine. Then tomorrow we might get rain again. Very unpredictable, the weather, like during July to December here. But they do, that was one of the issues. That's why they wanted to build the bridge. There's a bridge project that's still getting ironed out. There's still yes or no on the bridge connecting mainland Aklan to Boracay Island, because it's not a big distance. It's only like I said, a 15-minute ferry ride, and it's close. You can see it. It wouldn't take a lot to build the bridge going from the mainland Aklan to Boracay Island, because that's one of the things. It's like you can get stranded there. And I know during the last major typhoon that hit our province of Aklan was Typhoon Ursula. Ursula was the last one. That actually, Typhoon Ursula 2019 is when that happened. Here in our house, we did not have power here for almost 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks, no electricity. Because on our main highway, there was like, at least 6 or 7 big power lines that fell. Even in our subdivision here, there were some, it didn't fall, but it looked like, the power company had to come out here and fix. They had a lot of power poles, power lines that went down during Super Typhoon Ursula in 2019. Rare that we get like a super typhoon that hit. That's why I said we normally don't get hit like even last year when with like 18 to 20 typhoons that hit the Philippines. None of them crossed the path here in Aklan province, but we do get rain because habagat season, July to December, anytime habagat brings rain, and then when there's a typhoon that comes into the Philippines, it makes the habagat stronger. Hey, all right, Isaiah. All right, hello, Isaiah. I saw you, Isaiah, on your picture. You were sliding that water slide. I'm friends with your dad on Facebook, so I saw you having fun on the slide. But that's one thing good I like in the U.S. where kids get to go on water slides, but there's a lifeguard at the end of the slide, and he's got like his gear. It's like that's good to see. It's like they really watch out for safety in the U.S. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, Isaiah. So far, flights not canceled. Don't know the situation on Caticlan Port. Thank you. I haven't seen anything on my Facebook. I keep an eye on that too, Fortune. It's like the first thing I do when I wake up, I look through my Facebook because I got news like Radio Todo is one of the news I subscribe. There's another one. There's like 3 radio news stations here in Calibo that I subscribe in Aklan province. So I get like that's where I see photos of like areas that got flooded yesterday. But like right now, you can see the sun is coming up. Like looks like it's gonna be a sunny day today. Gonna be a nice day, but no cancellations yet of Caticlan. And people do keep an eye on that, because that's serious. When the port shuts down, there's a lot of workers that don't work. That influences all the ferry, the boats, the captain, the crew, the porters, all the porters that are working to lift luggage and all that, and then the workers themselves to Boracay. It's like they can't get to Boracay. So if I would say before, more and more hotels in Boracay, businesses were keeping their employees in Boracay, but after the Boracay closure, they demolished a lot of like light material, dormitory type things. So more people now live in mainland Aklan and they work in Boracay Island. They just travel every day. Like Miko, Dazzle's brother, he lives in Caticlan at mom's house, and he travels every day to go to his work at the Mandarin Bay. So when the ferries are shut down, they can't go to work. And the people that are at work at the hotels, they don't have the relief. So there's a lot of issues. Like I said, it's not. That's why I think they're arguing over building the bridge, but I think eventually they'll have to build it, just because there's so many issues that's affected by the ferries. And then, the ferries, to me, when I watch the ferries and when people go to Boracay, they'll see this. Man, they're just an accident waiting to happen. It's like, unfortunately, no matter how, they try to make it safe, or they're just an accident waiting to happen because of the tides, because of the waves. Those ferries, they used to have like bamboo, like outrigger on the side, so kind of make it more balanced. But now they don't have those anymore as ferries. They're using like a fiberglass bigger boat, but they don't have those sides anymore. I guess because the sides, what it did when they're coming into like the jetty port, they're so wide. So they decided to take him out. So now they're like skinny. They're skinny now. So it does this more. Actually, I think Fortune was the one that, we were chatting yesterday. I think it was Fortune. I'm not sure because I communicate with so many people. But somebody was telling me his wife had likes going to Boracay, but has a hard time with that because like even on like a calm day, the boats are doing this. It's like it's wobbly. And if you can imagine the boats being wobbly, the ramps, and I've filmed this several times, they just put a plank to get you from the port to the boat. And sometimes the plank goes up, sometimes the plank goes down. It depends on the high tide or low tide. And then, so if it's like up like that and it's moving, and you're going up that, and some people try to carry their luggage, that's why I always tell people, man, just pay the porter, because the porter only charges like 50 pesos per suitcase. And it doesn't matter if your suitcase is like 40 kilograms or 50 kilograms. Because I remember my friend Gray, when he was there, his one suitcase has 40 kilogram stickered on it. And the porter, Gray was standing on the bottom of the boat, bottom of the plank to climb the boat. And it's like, I know Gray wasn't going to lift it, but the porter just like picked it up like nothing, 40 kilos, put it on his shoulder like this, put it on the shoulder, had the thing, and had Gray's other suitcase like it. Two suitcases climbing up a plank to get inside the boat. And, these guys do it all day, so they're like nothing to them. But when the guy did that, both Gray and I were took like, ooh, that's gotta hurt your back, it's like, but the guy, he just carried it like this, other luggage, and he climbed the plank, so I was like, man, it's like, you gotta be strong, to be able to do that. Please disregard that warning message. Oh, okay, no worries. Hello, Ginno's gang. Daniel, my good friend. Hey, Daniel, thank you so much, brother. You do so much for me and my family. Appreciate you, Daniel. Hey, Belus, all right. Belus is on caught you. Good morning. Oh man, I just love, thank you. I'm glad we're like friends on Facebook, Bellas, because man, I'm in love with that area. I mean, that's, to me, I call that God's country, man. That's just, that's just beautiful. It never dries up. Well, I don't know now. I can't say it doesn't dry up in the Philippines because it's like the extreme. To me, Bellas is the extreme. Like right now, it's gonna be wet for a long period of time. But like during summer, sometimes March, April, then we get the heat wave. We're praying for rain. Everything dries up. But I did notice that this past year, in our area, like I keep an eye out for the rice fields because there's so many of them here when I ride my bumblebee or tricycle. I noticed this year it did not go brown at all. Even in our subdivision, the year before everything turned brown here during the summer, but this year it didn't. Everything remained green the whole year. Man, but I just love your pictures, and I love that tiny house that that was kind of like a dream for me actually, Bellis. When I wish I had done it, but I was still when I got retired from the military, I was still working at St. Mary's Hospital. And then the whole movement of people doing the van life, RV traveling across the US, you know, I didn't start seeing that till I was here already in the Philippines. But I always thought to myself, man, if I was still in the US, I would have probably done that before I headed here to the Philippines. I would have probably wanted to see, a lot of America, especially like that area, Wyoming, Montana. I just love those. I love, it's weird how when I was younger, I lived in all cities. I've lived major cities, metropolitan, Manila, Los Angeles. But now that I'm older, I love seeing like peaceful scenery. It's like a friend of mine even asked me, we're always like sharing pictures. And he told me, can you live here? He'll send me pictures where like nobody, looks like there's only one house, nobody. It looks like mountains and fields and I say, yeah, I can live in that because I appreciate peaceful places now. When I go to places here in the Philippines where there's hardly anybody, I can just sit there for hours. I can just sit there for hours and just soak in like the quietness, hearing birds, hearing the wind, things that I never got to experience most of my life. Being in the military and then being stationed at different bases, it's always like loud jets. In the Air Force, we always had loud jets. I guess I guess that's part of getting older. I think for me, I do appreciate the thing that I like the most about Aklan province is I can always find a peaceful place here. I can always like from our house, I can just take a bumblebee and I'm like 3 miles away from the beach at Navitas Beach. And when I go to Navitas Beach, like randomly, I'll go there morning time, lunchtime, afternoon time, just random, not even thinking about it. I'll just go there, I'll park Bumblebee, I'll sit by the sidecar, and I just sit there. And I hear the ocean, I got the ocean smelled, and then nobody's there. Nobody's there. And those are like moments like I enjoy, it's like I enjoy like me time, where it's just me and like why quietness and open space. I love doing that. That's why when I see your photos, Belus, I get jealous. I said, man, that is so nice. That is so nice. Fortune, Sebaste is next town after Pandan, hometown of Philippine Army Lieutenant Galido, who is retired. Oh, I've actually heard that Galido. I've actually heard that name, that officer in the army. Oh, thank you for adding that mandatory age 57. I did not know that, man. I did not know that that's the mandatory age for retirement in the Philippine Army. Thank you for those information, man. Thank you for that information, Fortune. I like seeing that. I think we've driven through Sebaste before because we've gone up to Mararison Island. I'm trying to remember that town, but there's a jumping point when we go to Antique to go to Mararison Island. That's probably the farthest we've gone in Antique. That's why we were hoping we would go to San Jose this year, but my friend that was supposed to come with us from Hawaii, he got food poisoning in Hawaii the day of his flight, so he had to cancel. So we're saving that for him. We've been wanting to go there to San Jose, travel all over Antique, film Antique. I haven't done that before. And I was waiting for my friend to do it because he's always wanting to do things with me for the first time. He's like, have you gone here? Have you gone here? I said, no, I haven't gone there. So he's like, we're going there. He wants to do everything that we do together. He's my best friend, and he wants it for us to do it for the first time together. Atro uses chase viewers. I know, Mom Janet. It's okay. It's all right, Mom Janet. PMA class 1990. That was actually fortune. That was growing up. You know, it's like my family in Manila. They were pushing me to become a lawyer. That was you know how it is when you're a kid. You know, it's like certain in the family they said, "Oh, he's gonna be a good lawyer." So I got tagged to be a lawyer, but on my mind though, ever since I was little, I wanted to be a soldier, and the reason was my family took me to Baguio City when I was 7, and I still have the picture of it. I still have the picture. I'm gonna have to dig it up. I know it's an old photo. I should make it digital, so I can share it to people. But I was 7 years old, and I was standing. I was standing like straight, like in attention, and I had a PMA. It was at the Philippine Military Academy in Baguio, and a cadet. I was standing beside a cadet, and it just resonated to me being at that Philippine Military Academy. It's like I was 7 the first time I went inside it, and it just I fell in love with it. You know, I said, "Oh man, this is what I wanted to do." You know, and I was hoping. Actually. That's why I studied hard. You know, when I was at Letran. And I know from my batch, even my elementary batch, because I remember in Letran, you go through elementary, and then when you get to high school, there's a select few that make it to the PMA. You know, and my one friend, Rigoberto, his name's Rigoberto Banta. He made it when I left for the U.S. and he. When he graduated high school, he went to the Philippine Military Academy, and I was like always proud of that. I remember him like he was one of my closest friends in elementary school, and I was proud of that because at least one of us made it. One of us made it to the PMA. That's why I ended up in the United States Air Force. You know, part of it was I always wanted to become a soldier, and when I went to high school, the opportunity just presented itself. You know, I didn't really think it was even possible when I came to the U.S. I was just trying to survive high school in the U.S. and then probably attend like City College or something because we couldn't afford college when I was graduating high school, and then. It just a recruiter approached me. They would send these recruiters to our schools at Long Beach, Wilson, and the first time I saw them was like my junior year, and then my senior year, you know, I got serious with it, and the recruiter really stayed on me, like keep your grades up, you know, kept track of me and explained to me how the U.S. Air Force worked. That's why I ended up joining. Hi Daniel, getting close to your trip. I know Daniel's getting day to day. Daniel's getting closer and closer. I mean, it's gonna be August here soon, Daniel. So that's gonna be one more month down. Hey Belus. Hey Belus. All right, Fortune, greeting. Good morning in his service. All right. Also, well, I'm decorating today. All right. I'm using my wife account. Can call me Junior. All right. I'm gonna put that down, man. That way I remember it. That way I'll remember. If I see Honey Airy, that is Junior. Junior. But I have to take a picture. That way I remember. I'll list it down later. Or else I won't remember, man. My memory is not as good as it used to be. I forget stuff easily now. We will take Junior, remind us until we get it. Junior. All right, Junior. Caught the nice words. Thanks, Ginno. We chatted long and well last night. I know it was fun, man. I really enjoyed that, Fortune. Thank you for reaching out, sharing your family history, your lolo's military service, being a lawyer. It's like an amazing story. I love hearing that story, Fortune. That's crazy. I can't sleep until 11:30 or 12 from Philippines lifestyle. From Philippines lifestyle. Wish could sleep by 8:30. Me, I guess because I have a long day by 8, it's like I wake up at 4:30, I do live stream, I do my walk, I do yoga, I do take a nap in the afternoon, and then when I pick up Leanna from school, our priority is her homework and me tutoring her on English. So that's pretty packed for me already. It's like, because like my good friend Horace, he reminded me. He sent me a message this morning, and I appreciate it so much, Horace. It's like he reminded me, hey man, you gotta take it easy, because he's seen this coffee with Ginno. He sees he see me going to Iloilo City videos and stuff. He said I need to take it easy too, and I do. It's like I do. It looks like I'm busy, but I always make sure that I rest up too. But I did understand, and I admitted to Horace that I did do it a little over when we went to Iloilo City, because when we got to Iloilo City, I was getting requests for people from meet. Hey, let's meet up, and I hate turning people down, especially they know I'm visiting Iloilo. It's people that watch our channel, want to spend time with us. But I just got to watch that next time. I gotta be careful about, because Dazzle was getting sleep, because Dazzle, she'll sleep no matter what. She's I don't let her, but me, between walking in Iloilo, meeting for breakfast, meeting for lunch, meeting for dinner, it was just like, it was hectic, the days that we were in Iloilo City. I just gotta watch it next time. I know I have to do a better job, like pacing myself. Horace was just saying, he doesn't want me getting sick again. I understand. Dazzle keeps an eye out for that for me anyway. Dazzle makes sure I don't overdo things. And then here in the house, the three ladies, Dazzle, Mom, and Leanna, they spoil me. I hardly do anything here. It's like they take care of everything for me. They don't want me like picking anything, like even like the lifting anything. They don't want me touching anything here. So please forgive my large. No, no worries. No worries at all, Mom Janet. Actually, it helps me. It's like I can read it better. I can read it better, Mom Janet, when you type in big letters. I'm the same. I mean, I got glasses. I've always worn glasses all my life, and well, I did have a LASIK surgery here in the Philippines in 2004, and my eyesight was good for like 12 years. It lasted 12 years, but I guess even with LASIK surgery, well, it was a different LASIK surgery before. Eventually, age will catch up to you anyway. It fixed my eyes for the longest time. I wasn't wearing glasses. Then it start, but at least it's still low grade. I can still get away with like not having glasses. Before my LASIK surgery in 2004. I couldn't see anything without glasses. All my life I've wearing glasses. I was wearing glasses since I was like 5 years old, I think. My eyesight was like really bad for the longest time. I think I got up to like 650, but now like my glasses is 150. So this is not bad compared to like 650 back in the day. But for a time there, I would say from 2004 to 2016, I wasn't wearing any glasses. I didn't wear glasses at all when we went to college, so, but again, age, and when I hit, I think my 50s, my eyesight start going bad again a little bit. And I did see a ophthalmologist in Angelo City. They said they can fix it again, but I figure, nah. It's like my eyesight, I'm good with wearing glasses. I'm good with, I can, when I'm around the house, I don't wear glasses. I can get around here and, not wear glasses, so I'm good. I don't wake in it until 2, 3 p.m. I don't wake. Ooh, 2 p.m. 11. Thanks. We sold the 1967 bus for the move. Looks like camping is getting more popular there, and we might build one using. Yes, yes, OB, they are becoming more popular. In our area, what I've noticed is Iloilo City is kind of, I even joined a club. It said not just a city, but it says Iloilo Camping. I joined that group, so I'm on Facebook, and I'm finding all these small lakes, rivers in Iloilo, and people are camping. Car camping more, not like in the US where you buy, but they are doing the, building out too. Very popular here is that overlanding. People are buying. I mean, even in our community here, man, it's like they got these trucks like lifted with big tires, big trucks, it's like, and you can tell they're overlanding because they got all the gears, like all the camping and for overlanding. They're going down like creeks and small, shallow rivers and stuff with their vehicles, becoming popular. Actually, I also belong to a group, the Suzuki Jimny. That's what we want to get eventually. After, I got a few more years on this car. Hopefully 4 or 5 more years on the WeGo. But our next vehicle, that's what she wants. She wants the Suzuki Jimny, the 4-door. Before it was just a 2-door, but now they came out with the 4-door. I guess 4-door plus the back, so 5 really. But it's the Suzuki Jimny, and they're doing that. They're putting, like, a lot of people are putting a pop-up tent on the top of the Jimny. That's what Dazzle wants. She wants a setup like that, like where we all can fit, and then we can pop a tent on the top, But becoming popular, camping is becoming popular here in Panay Island. People are hiking and camping and car camping. That's because the Elf and Jimny, that's expensive. So there's only a certain group. Even the big trucks, the overlanding trucks. There's only a certain group that can afford those things here. But they are getting popular, man. You see them on the road here now. I never used to see stuff like that here in Panay Island, but now I see them all the time. I really look like a spring. All right, man. I'll take it, man. I like Breaking Bad, man. I like Gus Fring, man. I love his character in Breaking Bad. He made for a good villain. Gus Fring made for a good villain. Ependencia, hey Ependencia, I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for joining the live stream. I haven't seen your name on the live stream in a while. Thank you so much, brother. JP, hey JP, Janet, Daniel, Fortune, all right. You are here. I'm on another channel. I have to go. All right, Mom Janet, thank you so much. Mom Janet, thank you so much. Yeah, I think I got a handle anyway. There's not as many people on the live stream this morning, so it's not tasking to scroll and read first before I should be able to just delete if there's not nice comment, but so far so good. Thank you, Mom Janet. Appreciate you so much. I feel that raw nature is God's greatest works. I spent 5 days in Yellowstone, Nesha, and never felt. Yeah. I think that's why I mentioned, it's like Belus and his pictures in Wyoming. That's why I feel like it's God's country, because That's when you get. I think when I'm with nature now, it's like that I get closer to God when I'm in those areas. Exact same sentiments, Daniel. There's moments like even in Boracay Island, there's moments when I find a beach in Boracay. I'm the only one on the beach walking early, super early in the morning. You feel that, you feel a connection. JP, howdy, all right. Hi from Puerto Rico. All right. E. James. Hi. Chat looks different now. All right. Said hi. Have about 7.5 months till I touch down in Philippines. All right. That's not far at all because my friend even told me this morning, Daniel. I got a message from him. He can't believe that we're only 5 months away from Christmas. It's like, and it's true because it's like, it just seems like we just had Christmas and New Year's here. And now, the Burmans is going to be sneaking up to us here. And that's the start here of Christmas. It's 1st of September is the start of Christmas here. You start seeing all the Christmas stuff here by September 1st, starting September 1st. Well, I got messages. All right. All right. my friend, Kalkin. All right. Will you be on vacation or moving to the PI in 7 months? It's a one-way ticket for Daniel, JP. He's gonna be part of the Panay Posse. He created that name, Panay Posse. He said he's gonna be part of he's gonna be the founding member of the Panay Posse. So JP, Daniel, you're all gonna be here in Panay just about the same time, So it's gonna be fun. Looks like 2026 is gonna be a fun time because there's gonna be more people joining our community, and then I'm sure I'm gonna take you guys to like James and Karen. I'm gonna take you guys to Mike and Kat and Roa City. So our circle of friends, I know. We'll keep growing. We'll keep growing here in Panay Island. JB, my good friend in Sydney, Australia. Hey, JB, all right. I want to get that Suzuki. All right. See, a lot of people, it's like, to me, out of all the vehicles that I have seen here, I have to agree with Dazzle. It's like I would love to own a Suzuki. We're saving up for it, we're saving because when we get it, like we got that Toyota Wigo, we don't want the car payments here because car payments in the Philippines, I think, are excessive. The interest rate here, I think, is excessive. So we're gonna try, and I know, people have told me, well, you could get Navy Federal Credit Union from the U.S. You can get a loan, but I'm trying to avoid this time part of my life, loans and things like that. I rather save up. If it takes us so many years to save up the cash, I want to save up and wait till we have the cash to pay for it. We should still get a good trade-in on our Toyota Wigo anyway, because that's one thing here in the Philippines. Used cars here, people tend to sell used car here at a higher price. Yeah, it holds value, because I guess because not many really buy new cars, and the inventory, maybe because of inventory, but that's what I noticed. Like it could be like an older Toyota, like a Toyota Wigo, let's say like our car. It's a 2019, so that's a 6-year-old car, and we paid like 620,000 pesos. I can still probably get like 350 for it, even though it's like 6 years. And in the US, I never, it's hard to sell a used car in the US. By the time it's a used car, nobody wants to buy it. But here, there's like a demand still for used cars, because sometimes a lot of the prices for new cars are out of reach for people. So if you have a car that's well taken care of, a used car, I already have like a buyer. My friend Ruben in Calibo already wants to buy our car, so. And think, and my friend from Las Vegas, he said, "Well, if Ruben doesn't buy it, I'll buy it." Because they know I took care of the car. They know that all the maintenance, I've scheduled maintenance with the dealer. I already did so. I only need glasses when I want to see and read. Hey, I have to wear glasses when I drive, of course. But I'm nearsighted, so most of the time, if I'm just watching on my laptop or TV, I don't need glasses. I can see it. Like here, I can take my glasses off, but I would like to lean closer to like read it. But I can still read it. I can still without my glasses. But it's just like for farther sight, I'm better off like having my glasses on. I've taken motorcycle camping trips through Glacier. Ooh, wow. That I bet that was fun, JP. It's the best way to feel your nature. Yeah. I'm sure many are doing that. Many are doing that here in the Philippines now too. Camping is getting big. Even though you would think, because it's hot here, but you just have to find. You just people are good. I notice a lot of the camping places that I've seen people in Iloilo. It's usually by water, like by a lake, by a river. I've noticed that seems to be like the camping spots, because hey, you can also go fishing. You're gonna go also fishing. I mean, how you can't beat that, camping, motorbike, and fishing, man. JB Manalang. Hey, all right, Edgar. I have to take off my glasses to read. Yeah, me too, Edgar. A lot of times, like, if I have to read something really tiny, or when I read a book, I have to take my glasses. I have to take my glasses off. Glenn, hello, Glenn, hello. Speaking of car, how does a developing nation whose average income is less than 500 a month can afford a car? All right. Well, the people that, if they're only making $500 a month, that's like less than 30,000, then they can't afford a car payment. It's like you would have to make more money than that. Even for like this Wigo, for example, if you bought the current version, like the 2025 or 2026 that's coming up, Toyota Wigo, it's gonna run about, I think it's close to $700,000 now, about $13,000, it's about 700,000 pesos, $13,000. You are looking at a car payment. They do try to make it attractive for people. They'll say, almost no down, but you're looking at close to 20,000 pesos car payment. And so that's $350 right off the bat. So if you're making $500, you can't afford that. But what I've noticed, Glenn, is more and more people in the Philippines are dual income. I have friends that I graduated college here. We graduated 2016. They're married. They're here in Calibo, and they're dual income. Both husband and both wife works. They don't have a car, but they do have a motorbike. They have a nice motorbike. A lot of people, province people, I noticed that people live in the province, motorbike is the more common vehicle. But people that live in the big cities like Manila, Cebu City, and even Iloilo City, that's where you see more people that have vehicles, that have cars. And And I think the reason that it's becoming more affordable, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but because I have friends in the situation, I don't know, that they're able to buy the vehicles. It's like the call center industry elevated a lot of areas here in the Philippines. Iloilo City being one. That's why there's a boom in Iloilo City. There's money all of a sudden because there was a boom of call centers. Call centers make pretty good money. You know, they're if you get elevated to supervisor in a call center, they're making $1,000, close to $1,000 a month. That's pretty good income in the Philippines. And if you have a couple working together, you know, $2,000 income, they can afford a vehicle, you know, on a monthly payment. So, but you know, again, that's people are saying because of AI is going to destroy the call center business. So we'll just have to see, right? You know, it's like people always predict things, and you never know. And what I've noticed is Filipinos are really good at pivoting, because I know, you know, like I took IT and uh, information technology. Both Dazzle and I graduated in 2016. Again, our classmates, our classmates, and also we were IT. There was also computer engineering people that we graduated with. Another big thing that they're doing is like, and again, our classmates making great money on it, is they've become like digital assistants. They work online, and they're working for companies in the US, Europe, just about any country. They're using them as digital assistants. You know, they're running Zoom meetings, they're running schedules for executives all over the world, and they're making good money. They're making better money than the call centers. You know, it's like, but not easy to get in, of course, competitive. You got to be smart. You got to know your stuff. You got to have the equipment. But I have friends now that make over $2,000 a month here in the Philippines doing that. You know, so I guess because the global thing, you know, it's like, you know, you got a lot of digital nomads from US, from around the world, that come to the Philippines and live here. My good friend in Dumaguete, perfect example. He used to live in Hawaii, rented in Hawaii. You can imagine. He told me over $2,000 a month for his one bedroom in Hawaii. Now he lives in Dumaguete, pays a lot less than $2,000 a month for a condo with a swimming pool and everything. He's a digital nomad, you know, so he can work anywhere. And it's not just digital nomads that come here. There's actually a big movement here of digital nomads that are here, that are graduated in the Philippines, that, you know, because companies in the US, you know, they're smart. You know, it's like if you hire somebody in the US from the US, you're going to have to pay them more, you know, because Americans won't take, you know, small salary. Well, you know, the Filipinos, you know, they're competitive. That's why I mentioned earlier, I don't, you know, people are knocking the Philippines. They're saying, well, economy there will crash because you know, the call center business is going to crash. You know, AI is going to take over. But there's other AI might come, but there might be more better industry, new industry that AI can create. You know, I don't think we'll ever, you know, artificial intelligence will, you know, it'll improve everything, make everything efficient, but I think people will always be needed. You know, I mean, in the restaurant, you know, I do see those robots serving in restaurants, right? I see those, but I can't imagine those taking over like actual waiter and waitress. It's a cool novelty, right? It's a cool novelty, but like, you know, I still want somebody like I can talk to that's, you know, that can get my order instead of like a computer. I would like to make a trip. MacArthur, I would love that, man. I'm on board on that, JP. I'll have to get permission from the Dazzle because Dazzle don't like to fly. Maybe if we can find a ferry going to the MacArthur's statue, but I would love that. I would love to go see that. That would be like a good place to visit. I've seen pictures. I've seen it on other blogs, but I would love to go to the MacArthur statue. I shall return. I shall return, and I want to see that. Most people can't afford it. There are a few who can. It's not everyone have exactly the same amount of income. Yeah. Here in our province, like in our subdivision here, I mean, we got some, there's some amazing cars here. I'm seeing like the Ford Ranger here, the Raptor, big SUVs here, the Fortuner. When I do my morning walks, my neighbors here, my Kuya Rex, my neighbor 2 doors down, he just bought a brand new Subaru, and he had a Subaru before that. He got 2 Subarus now. He got a brand new the other Subaru that he had, he gave it to his daughter, and the Subaru that he has, the SUV now, amazing color. That's cool color, brand new, a Subaru SUV. He has income because our area here, what I've seen in Aklan province, yes, we have a lot of like fishermen. We have a lot of rice fields, farmers, but there's a lot of people here that own a lot of land or a lot of fish ponds that they own. And like my Kuya Rex, he was one of the pioneers in Boracay. They lived in Boracay when Boracay in the 80s. So he had a business in Boracay with his wife. So if you can imagine Boracay, they were doing business there in the 80s where there was hardly anything there to what it is now, So he invested well. So now he's just enjoying retirement, It's like, but because you see a lot of poor in the Philippines, there's also a lot of wealth in the Philippines. There's a lot of wealthy Filipinos and that can afford vehicles. I mean, like I said, I've seen a Ford Mustang here now, brand new Ford Mustang in Panay Island. I've seen a few actually on the highway. I've seen a black one and I've seen a white one. GT, the ones that's really lower, because you notice them on the road. Because if I'm driving with my economy, 3-cylinder car, and I hear this past me, I'm like, what the hell? It's like you don't see that often. And then I look, I said, wow, that's the new Mustang. It's like, because they have a Mustang dealership in Rojas City, and they have a Mustang dealership in Iloilo City. That's why all these. The last time I went to Iloilo City, man, I'm just amazed about the car dealerships that are there. BMW dealership, and then I saw that one dealership. I'm not, I have to. I've seen cars of it. The MG. I'm not super informed about cars, but they had some nice cars at the MG. They actually had one of those MG big SUVs parked at the SM City Iloilo Mall, inside the mall. And I was like, woo, man, that's nice. But it ain't cheap. These things are over 2 million or 3 million sometimes. It's like, that's like $36,000 or $54,000. But, I'm sure they won't open a dealership in Iloilo, or I'm sure they won't they won't advertise it here if it's not selling. There's people that can afford it. It's just because the Philippines is a developing country doesn't mean everybody's poor. There's plenty of wealth in the Philippines. No loans, just cash, except for home. Toy, what's the matter, Toy? Oh, Toy, calm down, baby, calm down. My dog always freaks out because, do you want to go out? Come on. It's It's okay, baby. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down. It's okay. It's okay. It's alright. It's alright. Doy! She's just a good dog. She's a good guy dog. Doy! Calm down. Calm down. Calm down, baby. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down, baby. Calm down. Calm down. My dog always freaks out every time they pick. It's trash day. They're picking up trash. They have different days when they pick up trash here because we have to segregate. So sometimes it's plastic. Toy. It's okay. Come in, Lord. Toy. All right. No, it's the trash people. Yeah, she always freaks out when they pick up our trash. They have a different schedules here. They pick up paper a certain day, plastic, and then the ones that decay. But she's okay now. She always freaks out when they come. She just does that. She's a big baby. Why is there so many cars on the road if they can't afford it? Oh, I didn't say they can afford it, Glenn. Many people can afford cars here. Especially the expats. I mean, majority expats I know have cars, and there's a lot of expats here. A lot of Phil-Am, like me, Philippine Americans. There's like over 300,000 Americans living in the Philippines, like American citizens. So most American citizens here in the Philippines, I know, have vehicles, at least a motorbike, but most of us have vehicles. Like I said, just because you see the Philippines as a developing country, there's plenty of people with money, plenty of people with pension, that can afford vehicles. Oil changes are everything. Watch a channel where the guy takes an engine apart and oh yes, I know, JP. Thank you for saying that. But for me, every time I get a notice, I get a text message from the Toyota dealership here in Numancia, and they always tell me, "Hey, it's time for your oil change." I bring it in. I bring it in, because it's so cheap. For me, I'm used to paying high prices for oil change in the US. And, the oil change here is way cheaper. It's like at least 50% cheaper than the oil changes that I used to pay in the US. So, and then they wash my car. They like full service wash, vacuum, everything for free. They encourage you. They encourage you to come into the dealership. Free coffee, free coffee. Then there's a TV room there. I need to stay around Cebu, Manila for 2 to 4 months till I complete all the paperwork for my SRRB visa. Then Panay will be, okay, all right. That should be easy enough, Daniel. Dual income makes sense. Yes, yeah. That is what I have noticed. More and more couples here in the Philippines, Filipino couples, more and more Filipino couples are dual income. Or because of the internet, because of working from home, a lot of my classmates that have kids, they work from home. Even if they have 1 or 2 kids, they're working online at home. So that brings in another income. So, and now what I've noticed, the generation now, it's not the same generation I had in the 1970s. Filipinos used to be big families. It's not uncommon or very common to have 7 or 8 brothers and sisters back in the 70s. Now I'm seeing a lot of Filipino younger couples, younger professionals, after they graduate college, just having one kid. It's like that seems to be the norm now. It's two at the most. Don't see many couples now in their 20s or early 30s having 7 or 8 kids. Not like before. It's a different generation. Back then, in the Philippines, the more kids you have, the more workers in the farm, the more workers in the being fishermen people, like pulling the nets, grabbing the nets, or arranging the nets, or sewing the nets. Now it's like it's more realistic. It's more realistic. Smaller families now. There's actually people that I know that choose not to have kids. Filipinos. I know a Filipino couple here that's a friend of mine that they choose not to have kids, and they're both early 30s already. That used to be rare. If you're married in the Philippines and you're creeping up to early 30s, mid 30s, usually you have a few rugrats running around already. But it's just people are thinking more financially. They're thinking more that they want to establish themselves, or more like American thinking, than Filipino thinking. Before Filipino, I mean, it still happens. What I notice is a lot of the people having more and more kids are the people that are less make less money. The people that make more money, it seems like they're prioritizing investment. They're prioritizing being able to buy a house first instead of having kids, having more kids. It's really a different dynamic now. I could see even for the Philippines, like we've always been, fast as far as like population increase, but I think the next 10 to 15 years, we're gonna see it still goes now. I mean, people still have kids here. We're still pretty populous nation, but I'm pretty positive in the next 10 to 15 years, you're gonna see a drop on people, our population, like as far as our growing population here. OB loan is also limited to your age, so you can't take won't be approved if you're already 55. Yes, that's why our house loan here, OB, is 15 years. Yeah, the loan here is based on your age. It's like they won't let me go over 15 was like the max loan on the house, which is okay with me. It's like I actually worked out because we're on our going 11th year on our 15-year loan, so we only have 5 years left loan on this house. People find a way, and it's easy to get a car on finance, even they can. Unfortunately, JB, that is so true. There's many people here, the cars, even motorbikes end up getting repossessed because how people are. They get, they'll do all they can to get that new car or new motorbike just so they can have something new, something that they can, enjoy now, that quick enjoyment instead of thinking long term, thinking an investment. And that's why there's always like repossessed motorbikes and repossessed cars here. The banks here are always advertising repossessed cars and motorbikes. Even houses get repossessed here. There's that's why you don't buy used car in the Philippines. Yeah, that's probably my worst mistake ever, Edgar, was buying a used car. It's like, for one, I don't know enough about cars, so I'm not a good candidate to be 2 warnings. Okay, no worries, Fortune. Don't worry, man. I got your message. I'll read your message here because it popped on my screen. Yeah, that I bought like a used Honda Accord. That was the most worst thing I ever did in the Philippines. So but that's part of my fault, like I said, because I don't know enough about cars. That's why after that disaster, I just decided. I told Dad, so we'll ride Bumblebee for now, and we did for a couple of years before we bought the car. We saved our money until we were able to pay cash for a new car. For me, it's like a used car won't work for me. It has to be new because like I'm not mechanically inclined. It's like I don't know enough about engines and about repairs. People find a way, and this is a guy. Ginno, I don't think I've mentioned my father was Air Force military police. All right. Military police. All right. I know he spent time in Okinawa. Oh, Larson. I'm not, I'll have to look that up. Yeah. That's one base. Maybe that Larson base already closed because I don't recall hearing that. But I'll check it, man. Cool. So I have something in common with your dad, man. That's awesome. Lucita, my good friend in Maine. Hello, Lucita. Hey, Gino, I'm just now joining. Oh, thank you. Oh, everything's well. Thank you, Lucita. I saw that comment of yours, like inviting Leanna to swim in your pool, man. If we used to have a pool here, and Leanna used to swim all the time in our pool, but it's not working for almost a year now. Unfortunately, because of our homeowner association issue, and we're supposed to have an election. I think it's gonna come up here. I did see the posting that HOA election, the new board members. 5 new board members that we would elect by August 2nd. They actually asked me to run to one of the positions, but I said no, just because I'm too busy, and I can't handle the stress and all that. I can't, so I had to turn it down. But hopefully, our new group, it's like I'm trying to stay positive. It's like I'm trying to stay positive. Always like look at the good on things, but. We'll see how it goes with our HOA. If they can fix the pool issue, if we can have a pool back, everything else to me won't matter. Everything else I'll be happy. They can do whatever they want in our subdivision. I'm okay, but I want the pool back. And Leanna wants the pool back too. I didn't see you there. All right. Truth. I was just in the background about 10 minutes after the stream started. I'm doing other stuff so you don't see. All right, HD. Relation. Got back from grocery run. All right. Glad you're back, Fortune. Glad you're back. Oh yeah, so true. I got good point there, JB, about the OFW, overseas foreign workers or overseas Filipino workers. Remittance. That is huge. That counts for a big portion of the Philippine GDP. Remittance from overseas, from everywhere in the world, including the ocean, all the seamanship, all the seamen out there working in big boats, tankers, cargo ships. Lots of Filipinos working in those, sending money here to the Philippines, and those are the ones that buy vehicles. That the reason why in our subdivision, this is a gated community, Camellia Clan. The reason why we have so many nice vehicles here, and some of the houses, I'm sure you've seen it, like big houses, is because of overseas foreign workers from the Philippines. Because they, when you're away from your family, you got your wife and kids here, you want to be in a gated community. You want to be in a secure area because you're not there to protect them. So to me, it makes sense. And then a lot of the foreign workers, when they go overseas to work, their goal is eventually to come back here. They don't want to work forever overseas. A lot of them, their goal is like, get the house paid off, get the house, car paid off, and then save enough money to open a business. The minute they're able to open a business here in the Philippines, they're back here, and some of them, they can't wait. Some of them, they don't have enough starter money, but they'll say, well, I can get the bank to finance the rest. The minute they establish any kind of business here, they're here. They'll sacrifice 10, 15, 20 years of their life working abroad, but the minute they're able to have enough money to earn money in the Philippines, they're moving back here. And I can't blame you. Why would anyone want to be away from their wife and kids? It's like I have a friend here. He goes on a ship often, like sometimes 1 year, sometimes 2 years. He doesn't see his wife and kids, and now his kids are teenagers. So he's thinking like, man, if I keep going on the ship, my kids will be out of the house soon. It's like, it's a hard life. I have like sympathy for like overseas working Filipinos because they sacrifice a lot for their family, and I see it here. I see it with many of my neighbors here. Car financing is popular here. The entry-level car are around 15 to 20. Yeah. Fortune is the expert. He's in finances here. So listen to Fortune. His background here in the Philippines is finances. So works with in Manila corporate. He's our guru when it comes to finances here. The SUVs are around 30,000. Yep. I don't buy cars, get them for free as company benefit every 5 years. I'm due for a new one. Oh, nice, man. They see, I'm telling you, Fortune's like a corporate guy. He's her corporate guy. Anything you need to know about big time financing is Fortune. He works the financial district. But he knows finances here in the Philippines. Good person to know. I'm glad he's on our team, on our community, because Fortune has a lot to share. He's got a lot. Perfect name for him, Fortune. He makes a fortune. It's like a perfect for. And Fortune's spouse is an ER doctor here in the Philippines. Over 20 years. ER doctor. So we have a very professional person here in Fortune. Who needs a car when you can fit a family of 10 on a scooter? That's funny, Daniel. Well, like I said, motorbikes in the province anyway, it's a more popular. When I was in Iloilo City, actually, I didn't see many. The motorbikes I see in Iloilo City, a lot of them were the delivery, Food Panda and Grab. It's like it wasn't like when I drove in Dumaguete. When I drove in Dumaguete, man, I thought I remember stopping at an intersection at a light in Dumaguete, and I was within like 2-3 seconds, I was surrounded with like 12 motorbikes, both sides of the car. Left, they're like outside on the stripe. I'm on the stripe here, but there's like motorbikes like lined up with me, and I'm waiting for the lights. So of course, I had like when the light turned green, I waited. I eased on the gas because like here's the motorbike, zoom, 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 cutting in front of me. So lots of motorbikes in Dumaguete City. And one thing I found out recently in Dumaguete City is they have Grab in Dumaguete City, but it's tricycle Grab. There's actually no car Grab in Dumaguete City, only tricycle. So if you have a Grab app in Dumaguete City, don't be surprised if it's tricycle. It's not an actual car. If you're going to the airport with suitcases and stuff, keep that in mind that it's going to be a tricycle that's going to be picking you up in Dumaguete as the Grab. I'm surprised they don't have that here here in Calibo, well, I guess because the airport, not now that I think about it, because our airport in Calibo is almost dead, so no reason for Grab to take you to the airport, and there's so many tricycles in Calibo. They're always around. I mean, like, if you're a passenger in Calibo and you need a tricycle, they're racing to get to you. If you're like standing on the corner, you don't even have to raise your hand. Like, you got like two, three tricycle making a U-turn, heading your way, like waving at you, like trying to get your attention that they got you. So many tricycles in Calibo. Right, JB. OFWs get their families, houses, cars, etc. Especially now. It's 50. Oh yeah, or yes, I thank you for mentioning that, Fortune. I did notice that the peso a couple of months ago had gotten down to 54. Now it's like, zooming up again. It's like 57. I saw it yesterday, 57 point plus. Yesterday. So it's had like the fast couple of months now. It has an upward trajectory on the dollar to peso exchange rate. That's for us. It's awesome, because we make our money in dollars. It's like even up, from 54 to 57. That's 3 pesos for every $1,000. That's an extra 3,000 pesos for us, or about $54, for every 1,000 that we bring in. So if you bring in 2,000, that's an extra $108. So that's significant. $108 a month extra is significant here. That's like almost 6,000 peso, almost 6,000 pesos. That's a lot of groceries. That can fill a cart. That can fill a cart of groceries. 6,000 pesos. I can fill a cart of groceries with that. $100 or $108. That's those are the numbers. I'm good at crunching numbers. I've always been good at math. So when I crunch the numbers, it's like when I see the peso, the highest it went up is like 59 point something, and if it ever gets up to 59 point something, I mean, that's just like good money for dollar earners, and people receiving dollars. And like we've been talking, many people receive dollars in our community here. It's like, I would say half of our people in the community here receive dollars as their income from overseas foreign workers. JB, that's cool for you to get a Tesla. You know what, JB? I've never seen a Tesla in the Philippines. Maybe Fortune can tell us if there's a Tesla in Manila. I haven't seen a Tesla. Maybe it's the charging thing. Maybe that'd be an issue with the Tesla here, where you can charge your Tesla. But I have not seen a. Usually something like that would attract attention. I did notice, like, I was reading an article. There was like they were starting with electric vehicle, like taxi in Manila. I think that's going to be rolled out, but it's not a Tesla. It's more likely a cheaper version, or it has to be something cheaper, because that might be an expensive taxi ride. But I have seen that there was a plant or something somewhere away from a suburb, or away from Manila, close enough where they're planning to roll out electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are still not popular in the Philippines. I've not seen one here in our province. I got electric car. I've seen electric golf cart, tiny looking. I mean, those are all over here now, or e-trikes in Boracay Island. But I have not seen a single electric car in Aklan province. But I'm sure it's the future. So I'm sure, once they solve that battery issue, I'm sure there's going to be more available. They all fit in a tricycle. They all fit in a tricycle. Well, you know, the tricycles here in Aklan province, it amazes me how many people they can fit in that because between the driver, you know, where the driver rides, he can usually put two in his back. So three on the motorbike alone. Inside the cab, the front of the cab got two adults and one kid you can put. So that's three with the driver, six. And then in the back, you can put four, you know, that's the normal passenger for the trike. So that's 10 people, easy. 10 people easy on a tricycle in Calibo. And I don't see it much in Calibo where they allow people to ride on the roof. But once you get outside Calibo, like in Banga, in Balete, where James and Karen live, you know, outside of Calibo, you see people riding on top of the tricycle. So that's more passengers. But yes, you can easily fit 10 people on a tricycle here in Aklan province. It's getting popular here, but beyond my benefit, I don't want to pay extra. I just get with my benefit. Yeah, have four, so next week. Yeah. You're a finance guy, Fortune, so I'm sure you're quite savvy financially. You're like living within your means, you know, like people get in trouble. I always say this, you know, it's like I always kind of preach, I always kind of say, you know, whatever pension you bring to the Philippines, you will be successful if you live below your pension. You know, the people that get in trouble is like their pension here and they're spending here. But if your pension's here and you're spending below, you're like, you got it made. You know, you got it. You know, I figured that out quick. You know, in 2011, I landed here in the Philippines. I had a studio apartment. And the minute that I saw that with my pension every month, I was saving money, I said, I got it made. You know, it's like you can't lose because you can just keep doing what you're doing. At the end of the year, you're like building up your nest egg in retirement, and you can't ask for more than that. That's, to me, that's like the goal is to like save a little. Don't matter how little it is, but if you're retired and you can save a little, man, you got it made. You got it made. Thank you for your time, Ginno and chat. Time to go. Hey, Kroger's. I know Kroger's, man. I remember Kroger's, man. That white, their logo's like white and blue Kroger's. All right. Enjoy Kroger's. And still raining for us in Bacoor. Manila has suspended classes. Flooding all over. Thank you for that update, man. I wasn't sure the status of Manila as far as like, you know, because I know that the typhoon Krising, tropical storm Krising is up north in Cagayan and Ilocos, but I figure Manila would be getting rain. And thank you for the update, Fortune. Thanks for that cup. I am using the Philippine Navy cup in the office now. Oh, nice, man. Ooh, I would love one of those, man. I would love one of those. Any Philippine military cup. Agent Command of the Philippine Fleet. He retired as 2-star. Wow. Man, that's awesome. Man, I would, you know, I'm military, man. Doesn't matter if it's Philippine military, whatever military. It's like I dig it. I love that. I have you ever ate grits and eggs? I have eaten grits before because when I lived in Louisiana, I got to eat some grits in Louisiana. I like it. I don't know how to make it. You know, it's like I've always just had grits in a restaurant, you know, but I have eaten grits. Today, I had eggs and grits for lunch. Oh, nice. Now I'm an oatmeal guy. You know, it's like I always eat oatmeal because I like oatmeal. Quaker oatmeals. I make my own oatmeal, and then I throw like nuts. I throw fresh fruit on it. You know, that's my go-to now. I can eat that 3 times a day. That's because it's easy for me to make. easy for me to swallow, because again, because of my cancer treatments, I'm not good at, I have trouble swallowing food. So easier for me to like, oatmeal is like easy, that's and easy to make, and then you can add stuff to it, that makes it yummy. You can I even add peanut butter on my oatmeal. Definitely the smaller family these days. My mom has 13 siblings and dad is one of 10. So yeah, I know. Fortune was telling me about that, about his family history, how they started with like the grandfathers are like 7 or 8, so you don't see that now. It's like my classmates from college, they're all hitting like early 30s now. None of them got like more than I'm trying to think. Maybe one out of all of them have more than one kid. Most of them have one kid. That's it. Because for one, it's hard to afford, these days, even here in the Philippines, And then, you want to build something before, it's hard to save and hard to like save money, build a house or invest, when you have kids. Kids aren't cheap. Kids aren't cheap, man. Some still use their kids as the retirement investment. Utang, yeah, I hear that. I hear that HD, the utang na loob is like that's the thinking. That's how I think that's my generation. That in the 1970s, I grew up in the 70s. Utang na loob is like whatever people helped us raising us. It's our turn to pay back once we graduate college, once we're working. It's our turn to help our parents for siblings. But now it's changing. I see that changing. It's more leaning towards the Western style of thinking where, you start your family, you get married, you start thinking more of your own family instead of worrying about your brother, your sister, your cousin, but there's still wanting to help parents. I think that's always going to be around in the Philippines because we respect our elders and we don't want our elders to not be taken care of, because I think it's not only just the immediate family kind of like shame. It would be like all the other relatives will be like, why is nobody taking care of your grandma? That would be the thing. It's like I think when people get elderly in the Philippines, they just they won't have to worry so much about anyone taking care of them. There's still that big group of people that would always take care of their elders. There's enough Filipinos making money that they'll prioritize that. But like anything else, you hear, of course, sometimes the bad things you hear in the news, like a grandma or grandpa, nobody caring for them, that happens anywhere you go. But for the most part, I think most Filipinos, they don't want, like I wouldn't want to see a grandfather of mine or brother or sister of my grandma, any relation of mine older in their 70s or 80s that nobody's taking care of them. I wouldn't want to see that. I would help. Most of us would. Most of us would. That's a big family, old generation. My dad, they were 9. Yeah, I remember I was counting in my head, Fortune, like 7 or 8, but 9. We are 5 kids. So true. That's the other thing, right? Glad you mentioned that, Fortune. Filipinas are getting married later now. There are more Filipinas deciding to stay single or in their 30s that are still not married. That used to be not a norm. There used to be Filipinas, by the time they hit 25, they're saying, how come you're not married? The pressure gets stronger for them. Like when they hit 25, like, how come you're not married? But now, so it's more and more Filipinas are waiting longer to get married. Tropical cyclone wind signals here from level 1 to 5, while typhoon classification are also 1 to 5, namely tropical depression, tropical storm, severe tropical storm, typhoon, and super typhoon. Yeah, the super typhoon. That's like the minute they tag a typhoon, super typhoon, everybody gets nervous because a lot of people here, including us, we went through super typhoon Yolanda and super typhoon Ursula. Those two, man. We remember here. Yolanda in 2014, so that's 11 years now. That's the strongest super typhoon I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like that. Because I was living in Calibo, and I was living in an apartment there. And my apartment is cement, solid cement, 1 to 3 floors. So my building is solid, all cement. My friend Larry actually owned it. He doesn't own it now. He sold it. He owns a resort now in Antique. But that building was solid. But man, it felt like an earthquake in there. When Yolanda came. It felt like the building was like constantly shaking. And then I would peek through the window. I had like those jalos. They're like they're windows that open, but there's glass on the window. But they have these metal bars on it, so to protect you. But I would peek, and man, things were just flying in the air. It was crazy. Like I said, it was like I've never if I hear, I've seen on movies like a F5 tornado. That's what probably the closest I've ever been to like a F5 tornado was super typhoon Yolanda in 2014. I remember after that super typhoon Yolanda, it passed through the Philippines. We weren't even a direct hit of it. The eye was like above Panay Island. It didn't even hit Panay Island, but we did not have electricity in Panay Island in 2014 when super typhoon Yolanda passed through. We didn't have electricity in Calibo, where I live, for 1 month. That's why now, after that experience, that 1 month no electricity, I actually got lucky and I was able to buy like a small portable generator, a gas generator, because of course when Yolanda hit, those were hard to find, and of course the price of it, they raised the price. I knew I paid extra for it, but just to charge my phone, my laptop, my gadgets, so I could stay connected to the world, because it shut down everything. That super typhoon in Calibo anyway. I mean, it knocked down like the smart tower, the globe tower. So people didn't have cell signal. You didn't have cells. You felt like you weren't attached to the world. No internet, no cell signal. The banks you couldn't get money from the ATM. It was like, after surviving that, I'm well prepared for anything like that now, because now I have my prepper kit, for food. And then now I have my Blue Yeti, it's like my internet's always hooked up to my Blue Yeti when I do the live stream. So I don't lose you guys, because one thing happens if I lose you guys. One thing I learned is it won't save the stream, so it'll just loop and it won't save it. So I would end up having to delete it. So that's why I always have my Blue Yeti power station hooked up to the internet when I do these live streams in the morning. Okay, I'm gonna try to go faster now, because like I'll try to set a limit now, 2 hours for our live stream. We're coming up to it, so I'm gonna speed up now reading all this. I only have 6 kids, so definitely smaller family than my mom and dad. All right, JB. Fortune sound like Luzon is getting worse with this typhoon. Yeah, and it's not even it's a tropical storm. It's a weaker category even, JB. It's not even in the typhoon or like super typhoon category, but just getting rain. Getting a lot of rain. There's a call when women marrying later to having little to no kids. In the U.S., we are below replacement value. They're trying to sustain it by importing people, but not yeah, yes, as I understand. I understand what you're saying there, HD. Currently, we're seeing highest storm signal is 2, northern Luzon. The typhoon level is tropical storm, but will exit as severe tropical storm. Okay. There are some people who got car loans in USA for 10, 15. Whoo, man. I don't think cars even last that long. The 10, 15, or 20 years, I mean, cars don't even last that long. I mean, you really have to take good care of that car for it to last that long to be able to afford. Wow, a monthly payment. Oh, that's terrible. Australia always had low birth rate for migration. Is bringing up the population. If you have been to Sydney recently, you think you, you are in Asia. All right. I didn't know that. I didn't know that, JB, that, more Asians are in Sydney. Good morning. Hey, good morning, James. We're getting sunshine, James. We're getting sunshine. I was watching your videos. It looks wet in Balete, like here. It's been raining here, James. But sun is up. It looks like the sun is up, man. I'm getting some sun here. We will be there at noontime tomorrow with David and his partner from Iloilo City. We'll be there by noon. The youth now prefer work, career, travel. They can now live and travel. Yeah. It's not such a big rush now, right? Fortune for the generation now, the new college graduates, graduating. And not like in the past. Like I said, our generation in the 70s, marrying was so important. The new generation now, marrying is not that, not as big a deal to them. Hey, brother, Rev Fred. Hello, Rev Fred. Good morning. How are you, James and Karen, in your area? There, I saw on the videos when James and Karen on their live stream, when they lose power, there it's the same here. Like yesterday, when it was like pouring rain here, just in our house here, I think we lost electricity like 3 times. It wasn't long, we'll lose it, and it didn't last more than an hour. But we did lose electricity yesterday for like 3 different times, and that happens here in our province when it rains. When it rains a lot, we can expect more power outages. Like I said before, it's just part of life. If you live in a Klan province, part of life. It's better in places like Iloilo City because most condos there will have generator. Like my Uptown Place condominium, the place we stayed in Iloilo City for 4 months, they had a generator, so we never lost power. So, one thing to consider, if you're gonna move to Iloilo City, make sure the place you're moving into has a generator. The colleagues of my wife all went except her to Australia as ER. They are permanent there and live a good life. We prefer to toil. How you prefer to toil? Hey man, I have respect for that, Fortune, because for your wife, because most would travel to, overseas to make more money, but for her to like work with here in the Philippines, providing being an ER doctor for Filipinos, man, respect for that, respect, and it has been raining heavily on and off. Same here, James. It like pours like for like 32 minutes to an hour, then it'll stop. But today, since this morning, no rain, and then looks like the sun is trying to come out. Balikbayan, good morning, Ginno. How's the weather? So far, it looks like it's gonna be a sunny day. I'm seeing a little bit of sunshine. No rain so far this morning here. All right, congratulations, John, on the 16th wedding anniversary. Congratulations, congratulations. Take care. All right, especially in Auckland River. Yeah, James and Karen are good. Their house were very smart of James to build his house like up on a hill. He will, no worries about flood in his area. Yep, that was me, about my wife. She got dizzy. Okay, all right. I wasn't sure, Fortune. I wasn't sure because, like I said, man, I communicate, but, and I, read so many, talk to people and stories. But yeah, she got dizzy disembarking, right? Because it's like that boat, they don't have the sides anymore. So even on not even wavy days, you're going like this on the boat, before it leaves. And that's what makes people dizzy. Be careful of landslides. Mountainous areas are prone to during monsoon season. Good morning, Balikbayan Gayer, JB. Australia was peak immigration is slowly breaking the country, cost of through the roof. That's why I'm thinking, okay, all right, JB. Good plan, yeah. JB, America has similar issues. High cost of living, stressful lifestyle. Yeah, James, that's why, man, that's why I'm getting more busier and busier, James. It's like more and more people are reaching out to me, trying to get ideas on where to live here. Contacted me on my email, contacted me on WhatsApp. They're wanting my help. They're wanting me to guide them through the process. Replace population, also culture. Yeah, there's a good and bad, right? HD with a melting pot. When you have different cultures, it's good that people are uniting together, but there's also culture clashes that's happening. I wanted to thank you for wearing full face helmet. I was a law enforcement. All right, good, JP, good, JP. Correct, HD. It won't be so drastic. For example, COVID or so taken. Man, that's lot of immigrants. Yeah. If you follow the world news, France is no longer France. The native French are not safe in their own country. Wow. Thank you, JP. It might not be apparent from our videos, however. I know James and Karen. They take safety is a priority to them. I know that. I've seen 3 on top of the tricycle. Because here, it's like you see many accidents here in Aklan province. So yeah, I actually went to Paris in December. Some African even tried to scam us. Beautiful country, but very sad. Oh, okay. And I'm glad you guys are sharing this because I don't know. I don't. And I guess I don't watch enough videos, and I don't travel to Europe now and different parts of the world. I've been here in the Philippines. This is like permanent home here now. His father was also a general during Marcos fight. Some generals go up to a position, has a fixed term. Okay. The Chinese electric company has dealership. Oh, yeah, okay, that's the one. That's one of the one. All right, Edgar. I do, maybe I'll start seeing some of those electric cars in Iloilo City, but I haven't seen it. Maybe I just haven't run into it. I'd like to see one. That's why I'm curious. That's why I said I've never seen an electric car here in Panay Island, but I would love to see one. I've never seen one in person in my whole life. I haven't seen an electric car in person. Chief of staff, 3 years. PMA superintendent, 2 years. Oh, wow, big move. That's like that's a big deal. I know that's a big deal, Fortune. It's like, and anything chief of staff. Wow, that's like a very high position. I'm going to get a yellow reflective jacket or something to help me. Great idea, JP. Great idea. I wish people wore that here. That's why I don't drive at night. I try to eliminate driving at night. I'll drive to Calibo and back, rarely, just because I know the street. I know exactly where to watch for people, but I'm afraid to drive at night here where I'm not familiar with the road, because a lot of even the highway here in Aklan province is not well lit. Not well lit at all. People cross on the highway wearing dark clothes, no reflective. People ride motorbikes without the headlight on, without the rear light on. People on bicycles with no reflective gear or lights. So I'm afraid to drive at night here, because I'm afraid to hit somebody. Because my eyesight's not the best. That's why it's like. I limit the amount of time I drive at nighttime here. And then I get that glare when I'm driving. It's like I have, that's why if I can avoid it, I try not to drive at nighttime here. I saw some tests in Manila. Wow, Tesla in Manila. 3 months ago, even saw a Tesla in San Fernando. All right. Well, San Fernando got all those dealerships, right? Car dealer in Pampanga, they have all those dealerships. All right, man. Maybe next time I'll go to Luzon, man. I'll finally get to see an electric car, or finally see a Tesla. Confuse their income. You could have made it the PMA, or PMA was pattern after West Point because the great U.S. influence. Yeah, and I was in a good path. Fortune, because I was like, good student, graduating elementary school. When grade 6, I was one of the top students at grade 6. So, and I was disciplined. So I knew I was gonna continue that trajectory in Letron. And there were people that was that I knew would have guided me. I had one uncle, my cousin married him, and he was a judge. So there's people that were like telling me that how to do it, how to get to the PMA, but wasn't meant to be. There are a lot of people on motorcycles and other equipment at night with no lights. It's important to have bright lights if you ride at night to see them. Yeah. I know, James. I know. It's like that's always my worry. It's like hitting a person at night. That's why I try not to drive at night, because it's like cars, I might, it's okay if it's a car accident, but like I would just feel horrible if I hit a person with my car. That's what I recommend Ginno to do, and that's what's riding a bike at night. Yeah, well, over here, that wasn't a concern for me, HD, because it's not in our neighborhood. We don't have the traffic here at night, and we have a 20 kilometers per hour like limit, and people follow it in our subdivision. There's no people flying in the subdivision here, But she has the reflectors on her bicycle. She got lights on it now. She's got the headlight. She got the headlight. Be careful with BYB. A lot of negative comments about their poor customer service. Just be careful. Roxy's still afraid of walking on the new floor. I saw the short. I saw the short. All right. Thank you, Mark. Mark. Hey, Mark. Appreciate you. Biggie support group. Daylight. A daylight driver. Yep, JP. That's the way I am, man. I'm a daylight driver. I'm a daylight driver. Roxy will still not walk on the tile. Still not walk on the tile. The Roman Empire collapsed in part because they wanted to live a bigger estate, one heir. They ended up hanging the empire over to the gods as a result. Okay. I have had sport, touring, cruisers. I went 1,000 to. It's hard for me to think. Oh, okay, all right. So yeah. I mean, they have him here, JP. They got bigger bikes here. Poor thing, she's scared. Karen and I dreamt of getting a 1,000 cc. 1,000. I'll have to look that up, James, and see what kind of bikes. I don't think I've seen a 1,000 cc bike here. Maybe on display during the Atiatiam festival, like those 1,000 cc. But you don't see many. You don't see many here. Usually, I just see like up to like the 150, 160 is what I see. You definitely get a shot going down to the smaller bike. Jaren and King are good now. Jaren is much more. Oh, nice. Good, James. The dogs are getting along. Good, they are getting big now. Technically, the safest place to be in the eye of the storm. The worst place is the wall of the eye. I recently discovered Yamaha. Most of my motorcycles were over 100 HP. All right, Ray. Glad to catch your. All right, Ray. Thank you, Ray. All right, thank you so much, Ray from Sacramento. Ooh, man, James and Karen, are you guys lots of rain and wind in Balete? We look forward to see. All right, James. Us too. We're excited to see you guys again. Weather should be better tomorrow. Yeah, I think so. I mean, look at that. Look at the sunshine now. I'm getting like the sun is up. Sun is up. You know, the good sign. Good sign for good weather tomorrow. Biggie support group. Good to hear it. Storm looks like moving west towards China. All right. Hi, Stefan. Hey, Stefan, my Misawa, my Japan buddy. It's hot and humid here in Misawa. We were supposed to have a typhoon this week, but it didn't make it up to here. Hey, that's better, right, Stefan, than all the snow, you know. At least hot. I'll take hot and humid in Misawa, Japan, instead of snow, man. Can you plug them into a palm tree? That's good, you know. No need to stress your negative. Going. Oh yeah, I don't. Thank you, JB. I don't. You know, it's like, you know, I'm finding out now. Anyway, JB, I'm so busy now with YouTube doing the live streams, videos. You know, that answering people's questions. I don't really have a lot of time now to watch videos. You know, I'm getting behind on world news things. You know, but I don't worry about it. You know, it's like. You guys will let me know if something's going on, man. You guys will let me know. Roa City will. Simon, oh, we're close. We're only 2 hours away from Roa City. Easy trip for us. We like going to Roa City because every time we go there, we visit Mike and Kat and Lara at the Canadian Beaver. We stay overnight, so we have fun, you know. So we can go to Rojas anytime we want. The street dog sleeping in the street is the worst part. Yeah, yeah. If you're a dog lover, you know, it's hard. It's hard living in the Philippines if you're a dog lover, because you're gonna see some stray dogs that are, you know, in terrible shape. You know, it's just one of those things. Part of living here. You can't save all of them. You know, it's like Toto, my one dog was a stray dog. You know, I felt so sorry for her. So that's why we end up keeping her, and she's been with us 9 years. But we can't keep all stray dogs. You know, we can't afford to. We have a tiny house. If we have a bigger house, I know Dazzle would own more dogs. All right. Simon, what do you think about people drying rice on the actual road compared to dogs sleeping? You can drive over rice, but sleeping though, not so well. Okay. True. If you're on a bike, but not on a car truck, sorry. All right, no worries there. Simon, how many street dogs you see? Yeah. Yeah. One thing in the Philippines, and if you're a dog lover, for me, I'm a dog lover. It's painful. Painful sometimes here. Sometimes I tell Dazzle, well, nothing we can do about that, babe. You know, I always tell her that. A palm tree. What's that? 40 amps. Okay, it's HD. India ranks number 1. Philippines ranked 4th in the world. All right, I got to the bottom. All right. I'm going to end the live stream here because I don't want to go over like we did yesterday. You know, I tried to keep the live streams now to 2 hours. Thank you, everyone. Looks like it's a sunny day here, so it's going to be nice. I'm going to go for a walk. Because I haven't done my morning walk yet. So thank you so much for joining the live stream. And everybody have a good day. Safe trip to Balete. We will, you know, Balete is close to us. And I'm a super safe driver. All right, great, John, great. God bless everyone. And have a great day. And everybody stay blessed. All right.